Boom. We are live, folks. Me and Patrick are back this week again for episode 4. Hopefully, you guys should have finished it. I gave you guys a little bit of extra minutes because I know some people like to watch the recaps, which I'm not hating on it. And some people like to watch the whole intro. Me, I'm like skip, skip, skip. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. But Patrick, how you doing this evening?
Good. And yourself, man?
I am doing good. I was pretty much out all day, Christmas shopping. So hitting up all the stores, running around. Got home. My girlfriend is wrapping up some gifts. I don't even know if I'm gonna wrap gifts this year. I thought of kind of like a lazy, slick way because a majority of my gifts are from Amazon, and Amazon already does a good job packaging everything. So I thought about maybe just taking the top of the box and
Yeah.
putting wrapping paper on the top. So they showed that I showed that I try to make an effort to give you some Christmas design, but you guys know your gift came from Amazon.
Maybe. Well, gift bags. Just get some, go to the dollar store, get some gift bags.
Gift bags do work, and I actually recycle. Whenever I get a gift bag, I
Yep.
recycle. That's
Cut
funny.
the
I
tag,
don't.
cut the
There's this
tag
one.
off.
Yeah, there's this one gift bag that gets recycled throughout the family. But hey, man, we're saving. We're saving the planet. We're recycling.
We do the
Um,
same. It's
so let's
funny.
see who we got here. We got 4 people watching. We got Chris. Well, your boys got some screen time. Yes, sir. This is Neil's episode, and I have a feeling that every kid's gonna get an episode. Every kid's gonna get a focus, and this was Neil's time to shine. I'm just glad that it was kind of his first, but I feel like him showing that their planet is rich. We already knew that. Adam is rich. It's hidden. All these people live in a perfect world. The biggest fight that he ever had was his little brother. That's the only fight he had against. I guess all the kids get along. I don't know. It's Neil's
Very
episode, but
peaceful. It's very
hmm?
peaceful on that Atten.
Very peaceful. But I'm glad, and like I said, I think every kid's gonna get an episode. We got Chris saying, "I'll give this episode a 6." Though I don't think this episode was bad. I'm still giving it an 8, and I'll tell you guys
An 8.
why.
Wow. All right.
And I laughed so hard when John said, "Just shoot me."
That was-
What's up, Wizard Nerd 76? So Patrick, what are your thoughts on the episode?
I, I, I wouldn't, in my opinion, I wasn't giving it as high as an 8, but it was all right. I mean, I thought it was a little, I felt like as soon as you entered, like, boom, spaceship rocking in. All right, we're here at Atten, and obviously we find out we're at at Arton or something like that, like another at whatever planet.
Yeah,
There seems to be like
at
a
Akron,
few of them,
Akron.
yeah. Like
Hmm.
when they get to that, map room or whatever, which is interesting because it's like a bizarro universe of their universe, right? So it's kind of like they're very much the same, like everything's in the same kind of place. It looks very similar, which
Yeah,
is interesting too, because planets don't really, right? Like how many planets are exactly built the same? Like,
same exactly. So that's kind
so
of very interesting.
again, I think the people at Atten think again, it may be because it's so bred, it's bliss and this and that. I think that it's just something more menacing. I don't know. I That's my thought. I think that there's something more to it, you know.
Well, and we get into the sanctum, which was like the biggest thing. The kind of sanctum, the tower. That's what is it called? Supervisor Tower. And
Yes,
at
that's the
and
supervisor
but
on that.
they people call them the sanctum because there's so many information held in there and writings and symbols and stuff like that. But when they said, like, even Neil at one point of the show, he was like, "Oh, in that building, that's where my mom works, and that's where I'm gonna be when I finish."
When I'm
So
going to be
it's
an
like,
analyst or
okay, well, the
something.
buildings looks the same, the tower looks the same. So is the planet exactly the same? And then find out where all of them begins with an at
Hmm.
something at Atcom. So again, I I correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Was it 5 planets or 6 planets? And
I don't
Aden is the
know.
only. Hmm?
I'll have to watch that again. I didn't catch how many, but they were numbered. I like we're saying I would say 5
I
maybe at
think there
least.
was 5, and Aden's the only one that survived. And obviously, when we get into the whole, we'll talk about the supervisor tower. But I thought the episode was funny in the beginning when SM3 is calling, "Come back, baby, come back," calling Jod, "Get on the
Ba-
ship,
He's
baby."
babysitting duty. Yeah.
Yeah, for a split second, I know it's Star Wars, right? And it's a galaxy far, far away. For a split second, when they finally got out of hyperspace, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're here on Earth!" Because it looked like Earth for a second.
It
I was
did.
like,
It
"Yeah," I was
did.
like,
I felt
"Oh
the same
man,
way
they're
when I
Earth,
saw that.
cool."
Ooh, Earth-like.
And then I was about to get pissed off because I'm like, we're not having Mando season 3 again when they got to Mandalore so fast. I was like, they're like, "Oh, we made it. You made it to Aden." I'm like, bro, are you serious? In the third episode, they already made it to their planet, but thank God it wasn't their planet. And then
That was neat though, right? We thought we were going there, we weren't. We even learned more that you know what's going on. This planet's
Mhm.
exactly the same, but yet they're war torn, and it's kind of interesting because it looked like kind of like one of the old Trade Federation droid kind of ships
Droids,
that
yeah.
they're riding on, like with the cannon, you know.
Hmm.
So I didn't understand that. Like they had the Eopies, which we've seen in Star Wars. That seemed
What's
to,
the name? Obi-Wan Kenobi riding them.
yep.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of neat little things in that, but I didn't understand. I couldn't even catch, and I didn't have the caption on at the time, what the name of that group of people that, with the staffs and mostly young kids that were fighting on that planet. I couldn't catch what their names were.
So I got here the Hatan warriors.
At
So
10,
those are the people that stole the little elk from the was it Trioc Trioc Trioc? It's Troik because I did have the caption
caption on.
on.
All
But
right.
that was funny that the girl, her name is Hina. The first thing when she saw the kids is like, "What flag do you fly?" So I was like, "Ooh, okay." And they're like, "Flag? What?" Like the kids don't know anything. And definitely it the reason why I like that it seems it's gonna be kind of like a Mando kind of season where they go to different planets and meet different places. So they're gonna be learning something or picking up something or going somewhere until they finally make it at home. And are we? Because the way things are going, and I think they talked about a season two, are we really going to get the answers at the end of the season, or are
Maybe
they
not.
going to leave us in a big cliffhanger and be like, "Oh, the kids, did they make it finally back home, or they made it back home and then they just kind of end the season, and now we don't know what's going to happen until the second season."
Maybe.
Uh, but yeah, I like what flag do you fly? Then you had the General Strix is the general from for the and teaching them the kids how to fight. And I like it that it was very dark, and I like that they put the kids in situations that they never faced before to
Hmm.
fight. These kids are, you know,
So
this
sheltered. So
yes,
sheltered. Like
rich
so
rich
sheltered.
rich spoiled kids. It's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, you made me throw the trash." Yes, get your ass up and throw the trash, right? Let's see what
I
we.
thought that character that Neil first runs into and the kids run into, first with that kind of helmet and everything,
Yeah.
kind of had like a little Mando look to it. But then I was also thinking, that character from Solo.
Oh yes, the with the well, she had like kind of like spikes or something in
Yes,
her hair, but yeah, yeah, definitely.
I was kind of thinking like I kind of got that tribal vibe from them all because they had the staffs and in their helmet. Like I was like, huh, that's kind of cool.
And then so before SM3 was saying, "Oh, this is at Akram," and Jada was like, "What?" Because Jada heard what he said. He didn't
Yeah,
say at Aten. He said at Akron is
he's
a
like, and I've been here
dangerous
before.
planet. Yeah, so that's why I was like, oh, that's why I think Jod already knew, like, okay, we this is not an, and he just send the kids out to explore. he got called back to the ship, but I got to do something to save these kids because this is not where we're supposed to be. So thought it was good. Daisy said I just finished the episode. Awesome.
Nice.
Uh, thought I'm very interested about what SM3 knows. Definitely. And we got Steven Lopez. What's going
You're
on? Thank you for joining the live stream.
Yeah,
Um,
now that Fern was able to kind of kickstart the memory, right?
mhm.
But it was also interesting because the last captain gave the order if anyone kept asking. But what protocol overrides that at this point, right? What captain protocol? Because
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when they get to the whole supervisor tower and what happens there. But talking about Fern, did you see her the way she was shooting? She's a little badass.
yeah, she was.
Fern is a little badass, but obviously we got a moment where I guess she's doing this to be tough. We don't know
She kind of gives me like
necessarily.
young Leia vibes, right?
Yeah, but could be soft because she cried and like she thought she got the team into trouble. She doesn't know what she's doing, and obviously there's Wim right there to kind of give her confidence and boost her up. But we don't know. We don't know Fern's background, and hopefully we get some type of background from each kid, kind of like what they build it, because it's only her mom. We know her mom's important in that Atten. She plays a big role there, but she has a droid as a babysitter that watches her, and she got a real like tough skin. We don't know what's up with her, but I thought she again just a badass. Telling Jada before they left, "I'm the captain. You listen to me. You work for me." So I thought that was pretty cool about Fern.
Yeah, I see. I think where your idea of Fern's mother is high up, I think she thinks she's high up,
Hmm.
but I don't really think she's anything. I think they give these people jobs or tasks that are like you kind of see in Andor a little bit with the Imperials and stuff. Just they just give menial tasks to give them a job, but at the end of the day, I think that there's something much seedier going on that they don't
Yes,
even realize. Especially
yeah,
now that I'm seeing like a cloned planet almost like right? Like no one builds a planet to be exactly the same. Like, and what were they doing? Were they studying how certain people will do on a planet? You know what I mean? It's not like the triplets that they, found from different families that was on Phil Donahue. We're not doing that with planets in the Star Wars world, are we? Like, what is going on? Like, so that those are the kind of things I'm like, so that's where I'm like, kind of like, what is going on? There's something seedier going on that
yeah.
I don't
There
think
is.
anyone's realizing, and we're all maybe the whole Star Wars universe will learn about it together. Because does anyone know about this at Arkin or whatever? Is that a lost planet too?
Yeah, it's a lost planet, but you can see it's been destroyed. It's a ruined planet. It's you have like
Was
nomads
that one
running
of
on
the
there.
original gems that they talked about? On the
Mhm.
map, is that one? Are the planets we saw today part of that, or is this totally a different thing?
Well, you know how each planet has some type of resources,
Hmm.
right? And we know the Republic is going to try to take anything of any resources. So that planet that they're in at Akron looked like a planet that all the resources were gone, right? And the only thing they rely on is in those elk kind of animals, right? That's their resource. That's where they live
Yeah,
for. So it looks like a planet that was just left. Like we're done. We
decimated.
took everything out of your planet we needed, and we're gone. And so maybe, and obviously we should have flashbacks. All those planets' resources, they one by one were dying, and they've maybe and found out and they're like, hide the coordinates to this planet. We're a hidden planet because if they come here, they're gonna take our resources.
Maybe,
Hmm.
maybe because we did see that in the early few episodes of Andor, where his planet was basically decimated by just mining it for its resources.
Hmm.
Right, we saw that, so you could be right. That'd be interesting to see. But again, another episode that just has us asking more questions. A little bit slower.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's good, and I know I think I like it because it was a Neil episode, so maybe Maybe that's the
Are
reason
you
why.
kidding? Did you? I couldn't believe it. Like Neil got kissed. Like I was like, what? Look at that! Look at that baller.
Yeah, it kind of shows the guys that don't always fight. They
Yeah,
sometimes can't get the lady,
the
right?
the sweetie. It was
Sweet.
that was awesome.
Purple Jedi, hello there. Hey, welcome to
Hello.
the live stream. Daisy, I put this a couple of times. I had a bad feeling about SM33 from the start. Yes. And okay, I'm here now. What up, Chris?
Hey,
Chris is joining again. He's back again. What else did I have here in my notes? I did talk about Neil is so nice. Uh, we never have to fight. So that's one of the things, like, you really see the innocence part of Neil, and like he felt bad for those kids. He's like, "Are you guys hungry?" Like they
yeah.
don't see this stuff in their planet. This is all new to them. So for him, it's like, "Why are you guys fighting?"
This was
Like,
probably the best experience for these characters, these kids,
mhm,
seeing the galaxy at large, literally, like from one to another, to the spaceports. Like they're really getting a not a bird's eye view, but firsthand experience of much more than. And I think if they ever go back, their lives are going to be so changed.
mhm,
They'll never be able to fall in line with the rest of at Atten, and that I think is going to be a good thing.
yeah, definitely. We have Brick Creations and Collectibles. What's up, guys?
Hey,
Hello, good evening.
thanks for coming.
What else do I have in my notes here? Obviously, they talked about the fallen sanctum and it will not survive the journey. So that's kind of weird. Like they said they will not survive the journey, meaning what? Because when they got to the fallen sanctum pretty easily at the end, right? They didn't
Yeah.
they didn't fight anybody over there. But they said you would not survive the journey. So I wonder why they
We
mentioned
haven't
that.
returned back to the ship from it yet, remember?
Mm.
So it
Oh
ends with
well,
the
true.
cliffhanger, right, of SM-33 hovering over Neil who passed out and
Who
fainted.
fainted?
But that was cool. I
Yeah.
like that. So, like, we're gonna wake up, get some more intel at SM-33, or do we revert him back to not knowing, or I don't know how we get past that little kind of glitch in the matrix with his memory. So he's either not attacking the kids or at least can remember Ad Adden. So it's one or the other. So they got to figure that out. And then they're going to get off that planet and go obviously somewhere else. But I'm
Yeah, obviously
sure when
somewhere
they're getting
else.
off, like there has been two things I've seen. So in the trailer, right, we had that thing kind of like in this dark tunnel looking thing. And maybe that's them trying to get back out of here. Maybe it takes them instead of ground level, it takes them in the basement. And they got to get out. I don't know. But that thing kind of reminded me of the Borgoli from Andor. That thing in the trailer. That's what I was wondering. Is it the Borgoli? I don't know. Um, and then I saw something. It was like a promo piece, and I know you're gonna laugh, but it reminded me of Moana, that big crab guy, right? With the sparklies and everything. You know what I'm. But I think they run into some giant crab thing, which made me think like, are we going to visit that planet that we saw in the last season of Bad Batch with the crabs attacking? Like, could it be a callback to that planet where the kid's gonna? But I did see
Yeah,
something
I
with
like
that.
that connection. That might be that might be a connection to there as well.
You
But
know,
yeah, I do remember that scene because it seems like the crabs are like far away and they're coming and the kids are running.
yes.
Yeah, so
So it'd be curious. It would be curious. Like I kept expecting for this episode. I don't know why. I thought we are gonna see that crab thing I saw like pop out from behind one of these war torn buildings or something. I didn't know what to expect, but who knows? Who knows? I think
um
that's the one thing I have enjoyed is that I'm just along for the ride. I've been enjoying it. This one was slower, I think, than all the other three previously, but still was good. It's still you're getting. I think today really focused on the characters and the kids. Having that empathy, like you got that from Neil, you got that from Fern. It was really their kind of episode. I thought their
mhm.
characters.
No, you definitely get that, but I also like how they didn't stray away from the main story. Because
Oh
then
no,
we know.
it keeps moving.
Mhm. It was kinda slow, like, it wasn't too much, I guess you could say action and fast pace. So a lot of
Yeah,
it was a lot of talking. It was a lot of explaining. But I guess the explanation is letting us know that we already knew. We already knew that at Aten, where the kids are from, it's a rich planet. So we knew that that planet was like perfect. It's like a perfect town, perfect planet.
like a
Everybody
suburb,
got their job.
perfect
Everybody
suburb.
does their thing. Like I don't know if they know anything bad. They're very sheltered and protected. And now knowing that there's exactly same planet but destroyed, and why was it destroyed? Who destroyed it? And now coming to find out that SM-33 was already here. Timeout. Your captain was here. Your captain told you to destroy the coordinates and to pull anybody arm limb from limb who asks you about it. Like, because he kept on saying, I don't know where Aten is. I don't know where Aten is. And it was Fern who was
They
really
figured it
smart
out.
and figured that out. So now it's like, wow, yeah. Now we left with that scene where him on top of Neo, Neo fainted, but now it's like, what's next? What
Yeah,
does
but
he know?
SM-33 got pretty scary there for a moment because he like reared up,
Yeah.
got all
You
broad shouldered and everything, like biceps were coming out of the armor. I'm like, whoa, look at
he
SM.
reminded me of Ultron.
Oh, you're right.
Ultron, because like Ultron kind of like moves very weird, but then when he got all powerful, he became so big. So that's what he kind of reminded me of a little bit.
Yeah, he got very scary there at the very end. Like if I was Neil, I might have fainted. You know what I mean? In his shoes. But that was
We
crazy.
got more Lego builds in your notes. Hey, hey guys, I haven't forgotten. I still got them right here.
Nice.
I was wondering why I look so dark. I haven't even I forgot to turn on my light, but yeah, it's right here. Um, and yeah, I should be going live on Friday. So look for me to go live Friday. We'll do bag 5 and 6, maybe 7. We'll see how it goes.
Nice.
What do you think about the kids training? I know I talked about Fern and she's a badass shooting, but how did you feel about the scene where the kids are now forced to start training and shooting?
I thought that was interesting. I mean, obviously they probably didn't get too much, in that, short time doing it, but I feel that just getting the kids hands dirty, putting them in that situation was really just kind of interesting in the fact that it allows them to experience what these kids are doing on a daily basis, right? Like
Mhm.
it's like, let's put it this way. These kids went through like, actors boot camp for a day. You know what I mean? They're going on, say, the set of Saving Private Ryan or something, right? And they have to train. These kids are kind of thrown through it. And, you know, eh, did they think they're going to stick around on this planet? Like, I didn't understand why the kids like, oh no, we're just going to get back to our ship. Like, oh, peace out. Like, I don't need to be here. So I didn't understand that, but I don't know. I do like that. I thought it was cool. The targeting practice and little training. Wimp,
KV knows
Wimp
how to
sure
shoot.
enjoyed it.
Do you see KV? KV knows how to shoot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely
thought
with a
Wim
shoot.
was funny where he got kind of kicked back. It totally made me think of Back to the Future, and he hits the amp, goes flying. So I expected that. That was kind of neat. But I don't know. I think the kids need, again, like you were saying, with them getting all this experience and seeing all these worlds, and all these kids are seeing hunger, they're seeing war, they're seeing poverty. You know what I mean? They're seeing pirates, and you know all the things that Obi-Wan told us about. The scum and villainy. They're seeing it all.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not shocked. All the stuff they learned. They learned all the stuff in a couple of days, right? Of what's going on outside their planet. We got Lewis here. What's up, guys? Did Wim almost say Couture? The Knights of the Old Republic?
No, I thought there was something to it. I missed it, but I thought
Yeah,
you
I
might
definitely
you
this
might have
is
said that
definitely one episode that I need to, even though I rewatched the majority of the episode, this was one of those that you gotta rewatch and listen.
for the dialogue.
Listen,
Yeah,
you definitely that's why there's some episodes you don't need to have the subtitles on, but I'm one of those people that I just put the caption on just in case I miss something. because something could get mispronounced different. Like I wouldn't know it was at Akron until actually saw it on there. And like, wait, it's a different planet. I'm over here sitting down with my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, what did they say? It's a different planet. So yeah, definitely got to keep the captions on. I'll be watching that. One of the rifles, I don't know if it was Fern or KB had the little tip on the top like Mando's rifle. I don't know if you caught that.
Mm-mm.
So you know how Mando has that little rifle with
The
the little
prong thing,
prongs,
yeah.
the prongs. So I don't know if that's like in every I'm not a Star Wars weapon expert and did the breakdown of the name of everything. All I knew is I was kind of like Leonardo DiCaprio. That's like the same one
I know what
as
that is.
Mando.
Yeah, I don't know because doesn't that weapon do if you, I guess if you have that, that's the one that does
The
disintegration.
disintegration, yeah. So
I
that was
dig
like, dang,
I dig
they're
that.
giving the kids a disintegration rifle. Like, wow, that's
Go
crazy.
on, kid. You're fine. Get
Hey,
on in
hey,
there.
you don't worry about it. You'll be all right. Um, what else I got here? Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Neil got the kiss, man. Neil got the kiss. My girlfriend was like, or I was saying to her, I said, imagine if his trunks went up, like,
He was blushing.
yeah, he was
He was more
blushing.
pink in the cheeks than blue. Put it that way.
But yeah, man, I thought that was really cute about that. But now we kind of heading towards the end of we're going to supervisor tower, and there's a lot of information in there, especially like seeing all the plans. I think there were five, and they're all saying the different name. I didn't catch the name of the other planets because they were saying them quick. Oh,
Yeah.
here's this, and it was Neil, the one that actually found that Aten, and then obviously the coordinates were gone. So that was crazy. Coming to find out that the past captain killed and slaughtered the whole crew. So who was the last captain?
Mhm.
That's a the big person that, and is the last captain, would it be the person that's actually running at Aten right now, keeping all the resources and treasure? Because they did mention treasure. Anybody, SM3 says the captain told me to pull anybody's. I'll pull them apart if anybody's asking for the treasure.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a lot of information there that now I'm like, who is? It's got to be an evil person, right? It's not a good
Yeah. Well, I'm
person when you're.
wondering now, right? Here's my
Mhm.
thought is the kids found this at Akron, right? The other
Mhm.
planet. And it's got these in the supervisor tower on that planet. It had the coordinates. Are they going to have to now take the coordinates off a couple of those, try going to those planets, seeing if it's
Mm.
a very mirror like similar planet, find their tower, see if the coordinates have been knocked out there? Or can we take a shortcut and just ask Smee, have you been to any of these other planets and have you wiped out the coordinates on those columns?
Yeah, it's very interesting. So now, are they gonna go to every planet because the other planets' coordinates are not gone,
No,
right?
that's could they do that, or can they figure out some way where Smee isn't trying to kill them, asking about it because he's got a new captain with new directives that should override, and he should be able to just say, "Hey, here's the coordinates." I don't know what they're gonna
Y-
do.
So at Akron is their planet. At Akram is where they just finished. So they technically got three more planets to go. This was episode 4. If you do 4 plus 3, that takes us to 7. So
Bring
do
them to
they go?
Navarro. Bring them to Navarro. Have the Angelians work on the droid on
Oh
SM-33,
yes,
right? That'd be
that
awesome.
would be cool. And but that's where I think maybe. No, I don't know because Namando is in Navarro in the outskirts in his own little town. Now
Yep.
I know we don't want Mando. In the beginning, when this show was announced and talked about, they said Mando will be in one of the episodes. What I could see happening is maybe they do go to Navarro and has the Andrelians work on SM-33, and all of a sudden Grogu shows up to give him a hug, and the kids
Oh,
run into Grogu,
could be.
and and
Or
and then
IG-12 the
can
March.
we get Neo meeting Grogu? Disney's cash cow, meaning new Disney's cash cow? Because I'm sorry. Anything with Neo going forward, if
Yeah,
it's my size, I'm buying it.
cha-ching.
So can we have both cash cows together in an episode? That could happen. It could happen.
It could be a passing the torch.
But now it's like, okay, cool. Where do we go from here? And I think you hit it on point that yeah, they're gonna have to, in order for you to go forward, you gotta know your past, right? In order to go forward, you gotta know past. You gotta know where people started. So I feel like going back, there might be some little breadcrumbs there.
Mhm.
And maybe they remember some things. Maybe going to another planet that looks exactly the same, they see something and say, hey, wait, we got something like this in our planet, but we're not allowed to go in there.
Yeah.
It's restricted. But they go into this one and they got some information and they say, if there's a way for us to get back home, we know what buildings to go into. We know where to go to find the information on why this planet is so secret.
And we don't know what the other planets like. Are they going to be war torn like this? Is it going to be completely decimated? Maybe
Mhm.
it's a bunch of asteroids when they get there, because it's been, totally blown up.
Like
Or,
Alderaan,
or
yes.
is it like, you see more of a less kind of I don't know if the Aten people are necessarily like rebels, right? Because they have no
Mhm.
idea that the war happened, but like very like old Republic style. Maybe they kind of go where you're seeing more New Order style, like they're more gray and blacks and the red, like you know what I mean. Who knows? You never know. That's
You
that's what's been fun. That is what has been exciting because you have no idea. We've got Mando and some people in play right around this time, right? We probably have Thrawn in play somewhere at this time. Um, so you have a lot of things that you can pull from. So that to me allows because you got the first order starting to build, right? You have the Shadow Council,
Yes, that's true.
right? So we don't know, but there's things going on, right? There's tons of things going on. I still would love my theory to come true. They go to meet the supervisor, and it turns around, and it's like the Sentinel from Inferno Squad with a digital Palpatine, in its face. I mean, dope. I so want that to happen. Please give that to me. That's how it should end. Supervisor, door opens, red caped and clear thing turns around, and it's Palpatine's face digitally appears, and that's how it ends. Boom.
Wow. That would be crazy.
That
Obi Kenobi Relics just popped in to say hello. Hello there. Haven't watched the recent episode yet. May the force be with you. Thank you
go
for
check it out.
joining.
You don't want to get
Go
spoiled.
check it out. I must gonna die on Tuesdays, laugh out loud. I must gonna die on a Tuesday, laugh out loud. Why? Why are you gonna die? Battle Packs official, what up? Your ending
Good.
was good.
Yeah.
W episode. Yes, thank you. We get the big was it
Tippett Studios
Tippett
puppet.
Studio puppet in episode 6?
Oh,
Oh, by Bryce. Okay.
maybe that's the crab thing.
Oh, okay. That's the crap thing. Nice.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of Bryce Howard, we got announced that she's coming to MegaCon. So if
I
you,
saw that, guys. It's
yeah,
the whole
Rod,
Howard
the
family,
whole
right? Like,
Howard family is coming, but secretly, you know what I'm there for. I'm there from Bryce, and I might have to do a photo op with Bryce. I'm
dude, you gotta
sorry.
get
I'm
one
gonna.
with Ron. Dude, like, just ask him how cool was it to pick up the pieces and put Solo in there, and knowing that you always put your brother in something as a cameo. How hard
Mhm.
was it to find him a role to put him in for Solo?
No, I'm gonna go to Ron Howard and say, bro, where's Solo 2?
Right?
Where's Solo 2? I need that. I don't I'm a you cannot end the movie
Let your
showing
daughter
me
take the reins on
Darth
that one.
Maul and we don't get anything after that. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I think they could do a small little. I'd even do for a mini series with that, just to give me a little bit.
Yeah. We got Star Wars Nerd 00. You're what up, Star Wars Nerd? Did you finish the episode? I'm napping and making a thing. Oh, okay. You're napping and making a thing at the same time. That's multitasking right there, sir. What else we have going on? It's a short episode. I didn't have too many notes. I mean, we kind of talked about Neil, the supervisor tower, the planets, SM33. But yeah, what do you think your predictions for next week? What do you think is going to happen next episode?
Ooh. It's a tough one. I think next episode we're still tinkering around, figuring out SME coordinates and going to another. I think we might go to one of the other at whatever at planets. I think that's my thought. I mean, if you're trying to find yours, and we've already got this doppelganger of a planet, wouldn't you like, to me that's the obvious thing. If I'm a kid, or if even I'm Jod or the droid, and we can't get the coordinates out of them, if you got coordinates to a couple of these others, take your best guess, go to one of them, see if they've got a replica, and maybe you can find one that's not damaged that has that atom. That's my thought. So I think that's where that's what we're going to head to do. I don't know.
Yeah, it has to be like another planet. It definitely has to be. I don't know if the majority of the episode's going to be on the ship. Like, didn't them getting they're on the ship, maybe some more conversations that kind of lead into more speculations.
Yeah.
Jod ended up looking like a hero. And I wrote up here and I said, Jod came to the rescue. But did he really truly come to the rescue? He knew what he was doing. He needs these kids. He needs to get to that planet. So he's gonna do whatever was it scoundrel,
Steal their
whatever,
credits to
steal
pay
the
the rent,
credits to
if you
rescue
will.
them. But even though
Guilty.
he was low key trying to keep that from himself, but then he's like, yeah, I took him to save you guys. So
I'd like to see them work on SM33, because whether you have the Anzellans that we saw on Navarro, or the ones that we saw on what's that the Kamichi planet that Poe Dameron and them saw, and
mm,
you know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Um, if you go to either one of them where you get Anzellans, because at some point I think you just need to fix
yeah,
SM33, like
you
get
got
him
to.
fixed or something. And we kind of know that there's that thing, right? We know there's a thing, and we kind of had it hinted in the movies, and then we got a hint it in the Mando series. We got a little more behind it, so I wouldn't mind seeing them do something like that. I think it'd be kind of cool.
We got Star Wars Nerd gifted one Pop Bounty Collector membership. Man, thank you,
Oh,
bro. I
nice.
appreciate you, sir. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate you. Thank
That's
you.
really cool.
We got let's see. He did comment earlier. Don't want to yes, just finished the easy 8.5 out of 10. Bro, when they name dropped all the planets, it blew my mind. Exactly.
Yeah.
And all of them begin with an at. So, and somewhere in that galaxy, there's an at Ricky planet somewhere out there. That's all I know. And that planet is going to be rich with a lot of good foods, a lot of good foods, and a lot of good alcohol. So that's where everybody goes to.
Nice. Giant
Um,
cantina.
yeah, the Ricky Cantina, the power of whiskey, sir.
What's up, John? Finish the
What?
episode. What you got?
Yay! What up, Mac man? What do you guys
Can I
think?
do it?
Like, I
I
gave
like
it an
it.
8 out of 10. It was a good episode. It was kind of slow, but I feel like I love how each episode leaves us asking more questions, but getting us close. Because first, like, we didn't know about their planet. Then we found out it's at Aten. And then
Yep.
we find out that their planet is hidden from Kim. Now we find out that there's more planets they're named at, and their coordinates were taken out. So somebody's trying to hide this planet, and their planet is rich like treasure. So we're finding more about each
And
episode. So
even the character, like we were talking about earlier, like Fern and Neil had really good character growth. I think like with Fern, especially kind of like her mother always putting that pressure on her being the leader, because she's the leader, she's the captain, and always kind of in charge of the little kids. But like she's realizing it's not being the leader, there's tough decisions and things can get hairy and I can get you in trouble or killed or hurt. So like she was getting worked up about that emotion, which is cool. And Neil, like you said, he's a lover, not a fighter. And just seeing that such a kind, empathetic soul to him is kind of what makes him so endearing, not just to us as fans, but I think to anyone he runs into. That's his gift. Like he's got that about him. So, and I think that came out a little bit more. And push come to shove, he was a little confidence behind him. He'll help fight, but he was terrified. He said, but that
Yeah,
was
he was
cool.
definitely
I enjoyed the growth behind those two characters in this episode.
How about when they all walk out and he was in the back holding the rifle like this, like I don't want to go. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, it's
That
like,
was
wait,
funny.
let's find out a way that we don't have to get hurt, folks. Let's find out a way. Can we just say, I'm sorry? Can we
Right?
just forgive them?
Timeout.
We got congrats, Brady. Who's Brady? Tom Brady? My crack pod theory is that the planet were destroyed by and thoughts of a bomb just caused calls it the old republic. Mm, was
I don't know.
destroyed by thoughts of bomb just came. Okay, maybe I don't know how to read. Messing that up. Neil and Fern particularly really impressed me in this episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, McMahon, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely. So your theory is that or my crockpot theory or crackpot theory is that the planets were destroyed through like a bomb. You thought like a bomb destroyed the planets. Um, so thinking about who could be considered a pirate? Because what does pirates do? They rob you, right? They rob you of your goods. They
Mm-hmm.
rob you of your booty, right? No Diddy, but I'm just saying they rob you of your booty, treasure, right? Planets have treasure. So, and the guy that told SM-33 to destroy it was his old captain, and he got rid of the whole entire crew. So, a whole crew was maybe they went from planet to planet, destroying and taking all the resources. That could be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a show about pirates, right?
Yeah,
So,
maybe.
and they did say that in the title about how this world that we lived in running by pirates, and it's a captain. But who is the captain? It is the captain part of the old republic.
Yeah, it definitely. I at first when I was first thinking like maybe Jawed was going to be that captain, and
Mm.
there's some kind of twist to it we haven't seen yet. Like the droid's not remembering him, or I don't know, but I don't think that's the case. I'm not getting that feeling that Jawed really recognized that droid or anything. So I don't think that's that. I don't know. It could be very interesting.
Okay. Anything strong force use?
Hmm.
Neo should be a peace negotiator in the real world. Yes, definitely. First of all, he's cute. So he's
Yeah.
coming up. I'm like, oh,
Think bigger than analyst there, Neil. Think like senator.
yeah, there you go. But I'm like, oh, he's so cute. What do you have to say? You're right. We shouldn't be fighting. I just hoping, sorry, we somehow get an old Republic Jedi, a Sith Lord drop in the show. I mean,
That
they
would
did
be
mention the old Republic, so it would be kind of cool to kind of like maybe they're name dropping or leaving a little teaser or talking about the past, so that when we might get another old Republic project in the future, we could be like, oh yes, they talked about these planets and Skeleton Crew. So it's like, okay, we know about this now. Kind of leaving a little teaser. That would be perfect if
that
they
would
did
be
that.
super cool.
As a manager for one of my jobs, I feel Fern's pain in that one sense. Sometimes pressure just gets you. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does get to you. And you feel like you're trying to make the right decisions. And think about it, she's just a little girl, man. She's a little kid, man. And she's trying to make these decisions and trying to be tough for the crew, right? Tough in front of Jod, like I'm the boss. I tell you what to do. It has to be tough for the kids, cause but inside, like maybe she doesn't want to be making these decisions. She's scared. She misses home. She misses her mom, but she can't show that sign of weakness.
No, like right, because it's all fun and games until they blast it off and they're completely lost, right?
Yeah, right.
So now, like besides Jod, like when it was just the kids and the droid, she was in charge. Like I get it, and that's why I said she kind of reminds me of a young Leia. Like very tough, doesn't need obviously like it's like she doesn't really need the boys, right? Because she can
No.
handle her and KB can handle things on their own. But it's just very interesting. She is now, the steward in charge of these kids, even though they're her peers or maybe slightly younger. She does feel like she's got to protect them and herself and get them out. So I get that, and it showed. I mean, the kid got emotional. It was a good scene for a young actor like that. Like it wasn't a major scene, but it was that just enough that it didn't drag on. You got the point. It hit home. If you're sitting there watching with your kids definitely felt that. It was great. It was a great moment, and I really like the focus on those two. I think you're right, Ricky. Like we're gonna get those little kind of focuses on certain characters as we go along, which is perfect. I think we all
Yeah.
want to see that.
And I think the cool part too, it's cool to get like, for example, we got something here from Star Wars Nerd 00. We need a Darth Bane or Revan live action. You mean this guy right here? Yes. You mean
That
this guy
fine,
right here? Yeah, I can't wait for my be in the lookout, guys. Next month, my hot toy should be here. And I did order Darth Revan. Once that hot toy was announced, that was 100%. I was like that meme. Here's my credit card,
dude.
because I need that in my life. But what I was gonna say, um, about oh my god, oh no, about the acting, right? I like the simple fact that these are not being disrespectful, except for Jod.
Jude Law.
Drew Law, except for him, right? And I know Shmi is voiced by somebody, but the kid actors, I like kid actors. I like young actors that we don't know, right? They're new, they're fresh, and I feel like we buy into their story more
Yeah,
because to me, that kid is Wim. I didn't see him in anything else. That kid
that's a
forever would be Wim.
that's
You
good
know,
casting, right? That
yeah,
is good casting, and I think that's something that is refreshing. It's not like kind of that's how Star Wars made its mark was having no names. I think when we bring in bigger names into
hmm
Star Wars, unless it's truly done right, it's difficult in my opinion. Because like when you brought Jack Black or Lizzo in, like
yeah. You
it
can't
kind of
do
took
stuff
me
like
out
that.
a
Yeah,
little bit. I'll be honest. I would have rather seen Jack Black play like a scoundrel that had a cantina, and his wife was a Twi'lek that played the flute, and actually have her play the flute because she really can play the flute, but have
yeah.
her do something like that, in a bar, and cameo somebody else like another Max Rebo cameo. I don't know, but that could have worked better than what they gave us, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
And that was one of the worst episodes of Mando season 3.
Yeah,
We have Brick Creations and Collectibles say yes. Also, when was lightsaber training with the stick, Chef Kiss. Yes, definitely. Does Wim have the force? I think we kind of talked about that in
yeah,
last live.
right. That would be awesome,
Yes, it would be awesome if maybe him and Jod have a moment.
dude.
Or
That would
maybe he
be.
sees Jod using the force and he's like, I want to learn that.
Maybe he's got
I
to do.
want to be
He's got to use the force, and it's kind of like an ET moment, like do or die, and all of a sudden he just does it, and then John kind of looks over, like kind of surprised. Oh, could you imagine? Like every kid would go nuts.
or him trying to save Neil. Because him and Neil are, I mean, come on, they're
Right.
best friends. They're best
Yeah.
friends. So
Neil
it's
starts
like,
falling down a trap or something, and he uses the like kind of like your Jedi Fallen Order. Like
Yeah.
Cal Kestis saves his buddy, and because he saved him, that almost gets him caught, basically.
Yeah.
So
Or
it could be like that.
even the live action, not live action, the Lego show. I forgot the guy's name, but he saved his
Rebuilt the
brother.
galaxy.
Yeah, the rebuilding galaxy. He saved his brother by using the Force. But guys, we are at 50 minutes. I know definitely I got some other things that I gotta be working on, but I appreciate it. Final thoughts before we go, Patrick?
Final thoughts. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. I'm now wanting to know more about these other Atten style planets. Right. We'll probably all be rewatching it to see about that little kind of I thought he said something like a Knight of the Old Republic or something. Wim was talking about some story there. I want to go back, captions on, kind of rewatch those. But excited for the next piece. Like I feel like once we get there, I'm gonna be so bummed because I'll be like, there's only 2 more. Oh my gosh. But
I'm already bummed. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I could have sworn we had not maybe not in Star Wars, but I guess growing up we had seasons that had like 20 episodes, you know?
yes.
And I'm really sick and tired of these 6 and 8 episode seasons where you're only giving us a month and a half to 2 months, and then that's it. And we got to wait another 2 years. Now, I get it. I get it. Production, time, editing. I'm not an editor. I don't add the special effects. I know it costs money. There's a budget. But man, like think about the kids from Stranger Things. From one season to the other, they grew a lot because it took them forever
Yeah.
to get the season out. And like we want them to be kids, but now the next season that we see them,
Ooh.
these
Now
are
that you
like
say
young
that,
adults
I
now.
don't think they can really push it too much to go. Now that you point that out, because remember I said they cast them specifically for that age where they're at
Hmm.
for possible future growth. So they almost have to wrap this season up, but have something that'll cling you to what's happening next. Because
Hmm.
I don't think you can come back next season and expect the kids to be the same look
No,
as
not even because if you see some of the actress that plays Fern, she's out here in red carpets and she looks different. I'm like,
yeah,
whoa, that's Fern?
yeah.
So obviously this must have been filmed a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and now we're almost hitting 2025. This season's gonna end in 2025. They're probably not gonna go into production and start filming season two until 2026.
That's very interesting, Ricky. You know what makes me think that you're right on that? Something totally unrelated. So I was doing some research for the next episode for the Star Wars Popcast. I was gathering all the images of all the pops of 2024. And I noticed when I was going through the anniversary of Phantom Menace, the 700, 701, 702, as I was going through those are having the same numbers as Skeleton Cruise pops. Think about that,
Mm,
or the timing of when those were, and the number that why would we have that? And other pops after that have come out with later numbers.
yeah.
So interesting. I don't know if how related that is to the timing and production pieces of that, but yeah. So I don't think they can really wait too long before you get another season, unless you're pretty much wrapping the story up with something to propel us for like, let's see what happens with these kids in the future.
Yeah, it's gotta be. And then they said a time jump, but maybe they said a time jump because these kids are growing big. Like, and you can't,
You
you
know,
don't even know if
you've got
Wim
kids.
is gonna grow 5 inches
Yeah,
from one summer. These kids grow fast. Shout outs to Cantina Talk with the $2, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for joining the live stream.
you've got a young boy who probably goes through basketball sneakers like you can't believe, man.
Exactly. We got MacMan. It says, I think Jod used the force to defeat those guys and kept the credits while also freeing those. Ooh, because yeah, we never saw that other crew anymore. It's a possibility. We didn't see the crew anymore.
Mm.
So could he? Could SM-33 and Jod take out that whole crew and use the? He said use the force. So
Maybe.
that's a good
It
one.
seemed like quite a bit of them, though. A pretty
Yeah, it was a
sizable.
lot. It was a lot, and they had a tank. So I don't know. Maybe. Brick Creations, shaking hands. So my final thoughts. Again, 8 out of 10. It was a great episode. I just love the story of Neil. I'm gonna love this episode because it's all featuring Neil and obviously a little bit of Fern as well. Character development is amazing because now we know what characters that we're dealing with. Is Jod that hero, or he's still using these kids? Because it kind of felt like a moment like, oh man, Jod saved the day, and Neil ran and gave Jod a hug, and then Fern was very surprised and like, you came back, like you came back for us.
Yeah. Well,
So
I thought
now,
he made the joke about how many hides.
yeah, that was a good one. Of course, man, appreciate you. Just came in to say hi. What's up? Gotta head out, go picking up the wife quick from work. Well, pick up your wife safe and you have a good night. Thank you. Star Wars nerd. Hannah has a crush on Neil. Definitely she does have a crush on Neil. My man Neil was trying to steal her, like, come with me. Come to my planet.
I
My
thought
planet
God was
is safe.
gonna say something like, come on, you swashbuckler. You know what I mean? Like something savvy, like, come on, little savvy man. I don't know, something piratey, but something that kind of busts his chops a little bit from getting the kiss.
Yeah, definitely. But it was a good episode, man. I love this series. Um, Skeleton Crew, you got my heart. You got my attention. As for next week, so next week it is Christmas Eve, and unfortunately, I work retail, and Christmas Eve is also Christmas to the Latin families out there. We celebrate Christmas Eve with drinks, dinner, dancing, and when midnight hits, Santa Claus dropped off the gifts, and all the kids do a circle, and we hand out the gifts and we open the gifts. So I don't think I know I will be live for after party for this episode. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to see the episode. I might have to watch it on Christmas Day in the morning, eating Christmas breakfast. But we will link up. I know Patrick, I'll hit you up to see when we could do kind of like our thoughts and recaps of the episode.
Yeah, maybe the
Um,
26th or something. Like.
well, 26 is gonna be the day after Christmas and retail, and I'm a
Oh,
manager, so yeah, that's why I said we got to think of some other time because Christmas, oh, the day before Christmas, Christmas, and day after Christmas is kind of be pretty much a no fly. Christmas Eve, I don't get out of work until 8. I gotta
yeah,
shoot
I
to
got
my
I
sister's
got the
house.
short straw. I'm on call on
Oh yeah,
Christmas
you got the
Eve.
short straw.
On Christmas
Yeah,
Eve, I got the short straw, man.
yeah. So definitely, and then the same thing kind of goes with New Year's Eve. I'll be working as well, and then obviously going to a New Year's Eve party. So the next 2 weeks we will go live. We will talk about our and give our score, but just so you guys know, we won't be right after the episode. So well, I'm gonna just throw that out there before we go. Oh, we already read that. Well, thank you, Patrick, again. It was a
Thank you,
pleasure
Ricky, for
having
having
you
me.
on. No, always, man, always. And thank you guys for joining from the 10, 11 down to 6 people that are watching. Thank you guys so much. And you guys are watching the replay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Put in the comments if you guys agree with us, you guys don't agree with us. If you have your own thoughts of next week's episode, put in the comments. I would love to read them. We got JW. I cried so much I thought Neil was going to die. I hope he isn't dead. And yes, I laughed when Jod said, okay, just shoot. JW, thank you for joining the live stream. We are ending right now, but I appreciate your coming and joining. And Patrick, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, bro.
Peace, guys.